Hi everyone, in this video I'm going to solve Cambridge International AS and A Levels Mathematics, Paper 1, Pure Mathematics 1 in a session May-June 2025, Paper 1-5. So let's start with the first question. Question number 1, the equation of curve is such that its first derivative is given to us. It is given that the curve passes through the point 2, 4. Find the equation of the curve. Okay, so we have given the first derivative dy over dx equals 12 into 2x minus 5 to the power 2 plus 8x. We need to find out the value for y. Y is basically the equation of curve. So integrate both sides with respect to dx. Okay, so when we integrate, dx is cancelled with dx, derivative is cancelled out with integral. We are only left with y on the left side. Okay, now for integration of this function, 12 is a constant term. So 2x minus 5, applying the power rule of integration. 2 plus 1 divides 2 plus 1, multiply 1 over the derivative of this function. 2x derivative is just 2 and minus 5 derivative is 0. Plus 8 is a constant, x integration is x square over 2 plus some constant of integration. Okay, now y would be equals to 12 into 2x minus 5 to the power 3 over 3 multiply 1 over 2 plus 8x square over 2 plus c. Okay, now we have to simplify this further. So y is 12 over 3 times 2 is 6, 2x minus 5 cube plus 8 over 2 x square plus c. Okay, further simplification, 6 times 2 is 12, 2 times 4 is 8. We have y equals to 2 into 2x minus 5 cube plus 4x square plus the constant of integration. Okay, yeah, now to get the value for constant of integration, we have to use this point because this point lies on the curve 2, 4. X is 2 and the y is 4. So we have 2 and 4. Now the x value is 2 and the y value is 4. 2 into 2 minus 5 whole cube plus 4 into 2 cube 2 square plus the constant of integration. We have 4 over here. 2 times 2 is 4 and 4 take away 5 is minus 1. So minus 1 cube plus 4. 2 times 2 is 4 plus the constant of integration. 4 equals to 2 minus 1 cube is minus 1. 4 times 4 is 16 plus the constant of integration. 4 equals to minus 2 plus 16 plus c. 4 equals to 14 plus c. From 16 take away 2 is 14. 4 minus 14, this is the c value, and from 14 take away 4 is 10 and it's negative 10 because 14 is a negative sign. Okay, now the equation of curve is, just plug the value of c minus 10, you will get the equation of curve. Y equals to 2 into 2x minus 5 cube and plus 4x square and negative 10. That is the equation of curve. Question number 2. In the expansion of this term plus this term, the coefficient of x square is 6 times the coefficient of x. So whatever the coefficient of x squared, this is equals to 6 times the coefficient of x. Find the possible values of a constant a, their values. Okay, so we have to expand basically this term and this term up till the coefficient of x squared, because we need the coefficient for x and the coefficient of x squared. So we have to expand both of the term till x squared. Okay, so first thing first, 3 plus ax to the power 5. Let me expand it till a square, x square, sorry. First term to the power 5 plus 5c1, the first term to the power 4, and we have ax to the power 1 plus 5c2, the first term to the power 3 and the second term to the power 2. plus so on. So we need just the coefficient of x square, right? So open it till x square. So 3 to the power 5 is 243, I guess. 243, yes. 243. Okay. Now 5, C1 is 5. Multiply 3 to the power 4 is 405 AX. And 5C2 is 10 times 3 cube is 270 plus 270 A square X square. Okay. Now the second term, expansion for 6 minus x to the power 4. The first term to the power 4 plus 4c1. The first term power is reduced by 1 and the second term power is 1 plus 4c2. The first term power is again reduced by 1 and the second term power is increased by 1, up to so on. What is 6 to the power 4? 1296. 1296. 4c1. 4c1 is 4. Multiply 6 cube. 864 and minus x. Minus 864x. Right. 4c2 is 6 multiplied by 6 square. And we have plus 216 minus x square is plus x square. Right. And so on. Okay, now let me put both of the terms together. Now we can say 3 plus ax to the power 5 plus 6 minus x to the power 4. This expansion and this expansion put with the plus sign. Okay, now this is 243 plus 405 ax plus 270 a square x square plus with this term 1296 minus 864x plus 216x square and so on. Okay, we just need the coefficient for x and the coefficient of x square. So let me just simplify the terms. So the constant term 243 and 1296, yeah, 1539. The x terms we can simplify. The x term, this is the x term and this is the x term, right? These two are the x terms, plus the x coefficients are 405a minus 864 and the x square coefficients are 270a square and 216. Okay, now for the sum of these two, the coefficient of x square, coefficient of x square is 6 times coefficient of x. Okay, so x square coefficient is this 270 a square plus 216. This is equals to 6 times the coefficient of x, which is 405a minus 864. Now we have to find the values for a, right? 270 a square plus 216. This is 6 times. So 6 times 405 is 2430 minus 6 times 864. This is with a 5184. Shift all the terms to the left side. So 270 is the coefficient of x square plus 216 is a constant term minus 2430a plus 5184. This is equals to 0. So shift all the terms. This becomes negative and this term becomes positive when it moves to the left side. So 270 is a coefficient for x square, a square. A coefficient is 2430a and the constant term is 5184 add up with 216. 5400. Are these terms all divisible by 270? Okay, 2430 is divisible by 270. Yeah, all our terms are divisible by 270. Let me divide all the terms by 270. divides 270, divides 270, and this is also divide 270. Whenever you do any operation on left side of the equation, it must apply on the right side as well. 270 over 270 is just a square, right? 2430 divided by 270 is 9, so minus 9a, and 5400 divides 270, this is 20 plus 20, and 0 over something is just 0. Now this is a quadratic equation in A. Okay, now we can factorize this. Let me do a factorization. 1 times 20 is 20. 5 times 4 is 20. And minus 5 minus 4 gives you minus 9. Let's break the midterm. A square minus 4a minus 5a plus 20 equals to 0. A is common. A minus 4 is left. Negative 5 is common. A minus 4 is left equals to 0. So the two factors are a minus 4 and a minus 5 equals to 0. Right. Now the values of a are a minus 4 equals to 0 and a minus 5 is equals to 0. So the a value is 4 and here the a value is 5. So these are the two possible values of a constant a, which is 4 and 5. Question number 3, part A. Use completing the square to find the exact solutions of this equation. Okay, so we have equation 4x square minus 4x minus 1 equals to 0. So for completing square method, the first step is to take the coefficient of x square common from the first and the second term. So the coefficient of x square is 4. Take it common from the first term and the second term. We are left with x square minus x, and minus 1 is as it is. Okay. Now in the next step, we have to take the coefficient of x, which is negative 1, divided by 2 and take its whole square, which is 1 square is 1, 2 square is 4, and minus square is 1. So you have to add and subtract 1 by 4 inside the bracket. 4 x square minus x plus 1 over 4 minus 1 over 4, and minus 1 is outside. Now combine the first three terms, x square minus x plus 1 by 4 and plus 4 with negative 1 by 4 is outside, because minus 1 by 4 is product with this 4, and minus 1 equals to 0. Okay, 4 is dividing by 4 is just 1, so this is 4. And how can we complete the square? This is x square and this is 1 over 2 square, and in the middle we have a negative sign, so x minus 1 by 2 whole square, and this is minus 1 becomes minus 2 equals to 0. Okay, so this is a completing square, right? We have to find out the exact solutions solving for the x values, right? Okay, so we can say x minus 1 over 2, its whole square would be equals to, shift the 2 on the other side becomes positive 2 and dividing by 4. So 2 times 1 is 2, 2 times 2 is 4, this is 1 by 2. Okay, now in order to get rid of square, take the square root on both sides. And whenever we apply the square root, it is plus minus. So square and the square root is cancelled out. 1 minus 1 by 2, this is equals to plus minus root 1 over 2. Alright, now what are the two solutions? So from here, we can say what is x? X is equals to this 1 by 2, shift on the other side becomes plus 1 by 2 plus minus square root of 1 by 2. So these are the two possible exact solutions for this equation. Moving to part B, hence means using the answer for part A, solve this equation. Okay, for 0 to 180 degree. First, let me simplify, rearrange this, right? 4 tan theta is as it is. On the other side, we have 4, the cross multiplied with tan theta, plus 1 whole divides tan theta. Now cross multiplied 4, tan with tan is tan square theta. This is equals to 4 tan theta plus 1. Now 4 tan square theta minus 4 tan theta minus 1 equals to 0. 4 tan square minus 4 tan minus 1. So this is minus x square minus 4x minus 1. We can say let x is equals to tan theta. If x is tan theta, then we have 4x square minus 4x minus 1 equals to 0. So this equation exactly look like this one. and we have the solutions for this, right? So its solutions are x is equals to 1 over 2 plus minus root 1 by 2. So these are the two solutions. Now put the value of x back. X is basically tan theta. Now we can say tan theta is 1 by 2 plus root 1 by 2, or tan theta is 1 by 2 minus root 1 by 2. So these are the two solutions. So in these two equations, we can just simplify this form first. So root of 1 by 2 and add up into 1 by 2. This is 1.207. So here the tan theta is 1.20711. 6 rounded to 1. And on the other side, 1 by 2 minus bracket root 1 by 2. This is with negative. So tan theta is minus 0.20711. Okay, so here tangent theta is positive and here tangent theta is negative. So the domain we have given is from 0 to 180 degrees. So we need to check in which quadrant it is positive and in which it is negative. Let me draw the coordinate diagram for this. Okay, so in the first quadrant we know all trigonometric ratios are positive. In second, sine is positive, tangent is positive, and here cos is positive. Right, now the domain we have given is from 0 to 180. So this is 0 till 180. Right, so tangent is positive in the first and third quadrant and it's negative in the second and fourth quadrant, right? So here tan theta is positive. So we have to pick the positive one, just this one, because this is this solution we are only required because the domain is from 0 to 180. So this is 0 to 180, right? So it is positive in the first and third. We cannot find out the answer for the third because third is not in the given domain, right? And here tangent is negative. So tangent is negative in second and fourth quadrant. So we only have to find the answer for second. No need to find the for the third because of the given domain, right? Okay, so the first thing is we need to find out the base angles. So what are the base angles for both of them, right? So for the base angles, what we have to do, we can say theta equals to tangent inverse of 1.20711, and here theta equals to tangent inverse of 0.20711. Okay, so keep in mind whenever we are finding the base angles, we are not considering the signs, the positive or the negative sign. We are not considering those signs, right? So let me figure out what is the base angles for both. Okay, and it is in degrees. My calculator is in radians. The domain is in degrees. So convert it into degree mode first. Tangent inverse 1.20711, that is 50.36. So theta is 50.36 becomes 50.4 degrees, right? And on the other hand, we can say tangent inverse 0.20711. This is theta equals to 11.7 degrees, right? Okay, now we can check that tangent. Here tangent is positive. So tangent is positive in the first quadrant and in the third quadrant, right? So in this, we can say tangent is positive in first quadrant, and it is also positive in the third quadrant, but third quadrant is not in the desired range of the theta between 0 to 180. So we are not considering the third one. And what is operation for the third? It is just theta, the base angle, and here we do 180 degree minus the base angle. So this is just theta. So the theta would be equals to 50.4 degrees. This is the solution. And for this equation, you can see tangent is negative, and tangent is negative in second and fourth. According to the given range for theta, we are just considering the second one. So we can say tangent is negative in second quadrant. For second quadrant, it is theta value is 180 degree minus the base angle. What is the base angle? Base angle is this. So theta would be equals to from 180 degree minus 11.70, 180 minus answer, which is 168.3 degrees. So these are the two solutions. So we can say the solutions are theta is 50.4 and 168.3. So these are the two desired solution between 0 to 180 degree. Question number 4. The diagram shows a part of the curve. This is equation of curve. This is the part of the curve. The shaded region is bounded by the curve, the line x equals to 2 and x-axis. Okay. Find the volume formed when the shaded region is rotated through 360 degree about x-axis. Give your answer correct to two decimal place. About x-axis, it means we need to find volume about x, which is pi integration from a to b y square dx. We have y, take it square. Now what is a and b? It is about x-axis, right? So we know the x value is 2 over here, and what is the x value over here, right? So it means, what is this point? When the curve intersect the x-axis, its y is equals to 0. When curve meets x-axis, y is equals to 0. And when y value is 0, we have x square minus 1 over x square. Okay, simplify, we have 0 equals to x to the power 4 minus 1 over x square. This is 0. And x to the power 4 minus 1 equals to 0. From here, x to the power 4 equals to 1. And x is equals to 4th root of 1, which is just equals to 1. Okay, so here the x value is 1. So we have to integrate from 1 to 2. So Vx is integration from 1 to 2. Pi is outside. The function is x square minus 1 over x square. Its whole square dx. Okay. Now what is y square? Y square is basically x square minus 1 over x square whole square. It means the first term square minus 2 into the first term into the second term plus the second term square. A minus b whole square, I have opened it. So a minus b whole square is a square minus 2ab plus b square. This is a square minus 2ab plus b square. I forgot to put the square. Okay. This is x to the power 4. This is minus 2. And this is 1 over x to the power 4. Right? So plug this thing over here. So volume becomes pi integration from 1 to 2 x to the power 4 minus 2 plus x to the power minus 4 dx. I just shifted 1 over x4 x to the power minus 4 for integration, right? So volume becomes pi is outside. Let's apply the integration. Integration of x to the power 4 is x to the power 5 over 5 minus 2 integration with x plus x to the power minus 4 plus 1 over minus 4 plus 1, and the limit is from 1 to 2. Okay, now Vx, this becomes pi x 5 over 5 minus 2x plus x to the power minus 3 over minus 3 from 1 to 2. Okay, so Vx becomes pi, applying the limits. The upper limit is 2 to the power 5 over 5 minus 2 into 2 minus 2 to the power minus 3 over 3. This is your upper limit minus The lower limit is with 1. 1 to the power 5 over 5 minus 2 into 1 minus 1 to the power minus 3 over 3. Okay. So Vx is pi is outside. We can say 2 to the power 5 over 5. 2 to the power 5 is 32. Divided by 5 is 32 by 5. Minus 2 times 2 is 4. Minus 2 to the power negative 3 divided by 3. 1 over 24. Subtract the lower limit. 1 to the power 5 is 1 over 5. Minus 2 minus 1 to the power negative 3 is also 1. 1 over 3. Okay. Now volume becomes pi is outside. We can say 32 divided by 5, negative 4 and negative 1 over 24. This is 283 over 120. Okay. The other thing is 1 over 5 minus 2 minus 1 by 3. Okay, this is negative and this negative times it by minus 1 becomes positive 32 over 15. 32 over 15. And add up with 283 over 120. Okay, Vx is pi into 539 divides 120 multiplied by pi 14.1108987. Up to 2 decimal place we need to figure out the answer. So the volume is 14.11 because they said up to 2 decimal place. So that is answer up to 2 decimal place. Question number 5. The diagram shows a sector A, B, D. A, B, and D. This is a sector of a circle with center A and radius is 10 centimeter. The center is A and the radius is 10 centimeter. It means AB is 10 centimeter. This is 10 centimeter. That is a radius. And A to D is also 10 centimeter. This is a radius. Okay. The perpendicular bisector of AB. AB, its perpendicular bisector passes through D. So it's midpoint of AB, which is C. Part A, find the parameter of the shaded region BCD. B, C, and D. This is a shaded region and give your answer correct to 1 decimal place. Okay, the parameter of the shaded region is basically the length of CB, which is 5, the length of DC we need to figure out, and the arc length D to B. Okay, this is in degrees because it's perpendicular 90 degrees mentioned. All right. Now, first thing, use this right angle triangle. Okay, we can say consider triangle ACD. ACD is a right angle triangle. We have AC, we have AD. The base we have given, hypotenuse is given. Let's find out the perpendicular by using Pythagoras theorem. So hypotenuse square equals to the base square plus the perpendicular square. So from 10 square minus 5 square, you will get the perpendicular square. 10 square is 100, 5 square is 25. From 100 take away 25 is 75. And root of 75 is, so that is DC is 5 root 3. This length is 5 root 3. Okay, now we have this length, we have this length. Let's find out the arc length. All right, so the arc length is theta over 360 2 pi r. That is a formula for arc length. We have the radius, which is 10, but we don't have the value for theta. This is the value for theta. So the first thing is to figure out what is the value for theta over here. So for this right angle triangle, we have the base, we have the perpendicular, we have the hypotenuse. We can easily find out the value for theta. We can use opposite over hypotenuse. You can use the ratio over sine. Sine theta is opposite over hypotenuse, or cos theta is adjacent over hypotenuse, and tan theta is opposite over adjacent. Okay, this is up to you. Okay, so which trigonometric ratio? Let me use cos. You can use sine, cos, tan. Cos theta is adjacent over hypotenuse. Adjacent is 5, hypotenuse is 10. So that is 5 over 10. And from here, theta would be equals to cos inverse of 5 over 10 is basically 1 by 2. Yeah. So cos inverse 5 over 10 is 60 degree. So that theta is 60 degree. So this value of theta is 60 degree. Okay, now plug the values into the formula. We have the arc length BD. Theta is 60 degree over 360 degree into 2 pi, and the radius is 10. Okay, 60 divides 360, multiply by 2, multiply by pi, multiply by 10, which is 10 over 3 pi. This arc length is 10 pi by 3. Okay, now the next thing is find out the parameter. Parameter is this length, and this length up to 1 decimal place. Okay, 5 plus 5 root 3 plus 10 pi over 3. Okay, plus 5 root, root 3 and plus 5. 24.1 up to 1 decimal place. That is the answer. 24.1 centimeter. That is the parameter. Now for part B, find the area of the shaded region BCD. Give your answer correct to 1 decimal place. The area of the shaded region. Okay. So the area of the shaded region, you can see, first we need to find out the area for this sector and then subtract the area of this triangle to get the shaded area. Okay. So we can say the shaded area is area of sector minus area of triangle. Because from the sector, the triangle is not shaded. The whole sector, the triangle is not shaded. All right. So this area of a sector is theta over 360 degree pi r square minus area of a triangle is half base times height. Okay. So theta is 60 we have done over 360 degree pi, and the radius is 10 square minus 1 over 2 the base of the triangle and the height of the triangle. So base is 5 and the height is 5 root 3. This is 5 and this is 5 root 3. All right. Now let me simplify. So we have 60 over 360 multiply by pi multiply by 10 square, which is 50 over 3 pi. 50 pi over 3, and the other one is 1 by 2 times by 5 times by 5 root 3. This is negative 25 root 3 over 2. So times it by minus 1 and add 50 pi over 3. 30.7 up to 1 decimal place we need to figure out. Yes. So this answer is 30.7 centimeter square. Question number 6. Each year on her birthday, Anaya receives some money from each of her parents. On Anaya's first birthday, her father gives her $10. Every subsequent year, her father gives her 5 more than he gave her previous year. So let me write down for the father. So on first birthday, he gave her $10. On second birthday, he gave 5 more than he gave her previous year. So previous year is 10, so that is 15. And again 5 more in the previous year is 15, that is 20. Again, 5 more than the previous year is 20, that is 25. So what kind of sequence is this? I guess that is an arithmetic progression. So for arithmetic progression, we have 10 and then 15, 20, 25, and so on, right? Because you can see the difference is adding 5 each time, plus 5, plus 5. So this is an arithmetic progression, right? So a n is equals to a plus n minus 1 into d. That is the nth term formula for arithmetic progression, right? Now move further. On Anaya's first birthday, her mother gives her $10. Again, every subsequent year, her mother gives her 20% more than she gave her the previous year, right? Let me write down for the mother. The mother is $10 on the first year. Now 20% of $10 add up, this thing add up into the previous year, because 20% more. We need to find out 20% of the previous year plus this amount into the previous year, right? So what is that amount? 20% of 10 add up in 10. So that is 12. Right, next is 20% of 12, add this in 12. Okay, so 20% of 12 add up in 12, that is 14.4. Okay, and so on. I guess this is a geometric progression. If I can write this down, so first is 10 and then 12 and then 14.4 and so on. So find out its ratio. Ratio is 12 over 10 must be equals to 14.4 over 12. Second over first and third over second both are equal. So what is 12 divides 10? It's 1.2. Okay, and what is 14.4 over 12? It's again 1.2. Yes, it is a geometric progression. So what is another term for geometric progression, which is a r to the power n minus 1. Now the question says, part A, show that on Anaya's 11th birthday, she receives more from her mother than from her father. 11th birthday, how much amount? Means the n value is 11. Okay, so from the father, okay, from the father, A is a first term, which is 10, plus 11 minus 1, D is a common difference, which is 5. So 11 minus 1 is 10, right? 10 plus, 10 plus 10 times 5, which is 60. So she receives $60 from her father on 11th birthday. And let's figure out from the mother side. So from mother, it is a geometric progression. A11 is A is the first term. R is the common ratio to the power 10, 11 minus 1, which is 10, n minus 1, right? So 10 into 1.2 to the power 10. That is $61.9. Okay, so this is proved that she receives more from her mother than from her father, right? From the mother's $61.9 and from father is just $60. 61 and 60. So it's basically $62 and $60. So if she more some she receives some dollars more from her mother as compared to her father. Now for part B, find the total amount of money Anayas receive up to and including her 18th birthday. So n should be equals to 18, the total amount of money. So from the first year till the 18th year, we have to sum up everything, right? Okay, so this is basically the amount she receives on 11th birthday. From father, the 11th birthday is $60, and from the mother, the 11th birthday is $61.9. But we have to find out the sum, the total amount she will receive on her 18th birthday from her mother and from her father, and then sum up for both of them. It means we have to find the sum of arithmetic progression and sum of the geometric progression. As we know, from the father side, it's the sequence is arithmetic, and from the mother side, the sequence is geometric, right? Okay, so the sum formula for arithmetic progression, the sum is Sn equals to n by 2 into 2a plus n minus 1 into d. So a is the first term, which is 10, d is a common difference, which is 5, and n is 18. So for geometric progression, the sum is Sn equals to a into 1 minus r power n into over 1 minus r. A is again the first term, which is 10, r is 1.2, the common ratio, and value is 18. Let me figure out the sum. Okay, so from total amount is a sum from the mother and the father side. So she receives from the father plus she receives from her mother. Okay, so that total amount is n is 18. 18 divided by 2 into 2 times 10 plus 18 minus 1, and the d value is 5. Plus from the mother side, 10 into 1 minus r is 1.2 to the power 18 over 1 minus 1.2. Okay, let me simplify it further. 2 times 10 is 20, and we have 18 minus 1 is 17. 17 multiplied by 5, add up with 20, and multiply by 18 divided by 2. So $945 she is going to receive from father, the total on 18th birthday. And from the mother side, 1.2 to the power of 18, right? 1 subtract answer times it by 10 is this much. This thing divides 1 minus 1.2. 1, okay, let me add them up. 1281.167. Okay, add this up with 945. So 2226.17 dollars. This is a total amount of money she receives up to and including her 18th birthday. From first year 1 till year 18, this is a total amount of money she's going to receive from her mother and from father, from both parents. Question number 7. In the parallelogram ABCD, the coordinates of A are 2, 3, 7, the coordinates of B are 6p, and the coordinates of D are 1p. It is given that the gradient of AB is minus 2 by 3. Part A, find the value of P. Okay, so first let me draw the parallelogram. Okay. As we know that the opposite sides of parallelogram are parallel, right? The parallelogram is B, C, and D is a parallelogram. Okay. So the coordinates of A are 3 and 7. B coordinates are 6 and some P. And we don't know the C coordinates. The D coordinates are 1 and P. Okay. So we have given the gradient of AB. So what is the formula for gradient? Gradient is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So we have given the gradient of AB, which is minus 2 over 3, that is equals to A is x1 y1, B is x2 y2, y2 minus y1. So P minus 7 over x2 minus x1, which is 6 minus 3. Let me solve for P. Okay. So minus 2 over 3 equals to p minus 7. From 6 take away 3 is 3. So cross multiply it. Minus 2 into 3 is 3 into p minus 7. So 2 times 3 is 6 minus 6 equals to 3p, and 3 times 7 is 21. So minus 6 and plus 21 is 3p. Okay, so 21 shift on the other side becomes positive. From 21 take away 6 is 15. 15 equals to 3p, and dividing both sides by 3, 3 times 1 is 3, 3 times 5 is 15. So from here the p value is equals to 5. So we have done with the p, which is 5. Moving to part B, find the coordinates of C. Okay, so we need to figure out the C coordinates. Okay, if I can draw the parallelogram again. As we know, in parallelogram, opposite sides are parallel. Now write down the coordinates as well. So A coordinates are 3, 7. B coordinates are 6 and 5. C coordinates are x, y. And the D coordinates are 1 and B values 5. Okay, we need to solve for C. Opposite sides of parallelograms are parallel. Opposite sides are parallel. Okay, so when opposite sides are parallel, it means the slope of AB is equals to the slope of CD. AB and DC, these slopes are equal. The slope of AD and the slope of BC are equal. These two sides are parallel, their slopes are same. These two sides are parallel, their slopes are same. We have given the slope of AB, slope or the gradient, which is given minus 2 over 3. This must be equals to the slope of these two, right? Y2 minus y1, which is y minus 5, over x2 minus x1, which is x minus 1. So it is just a 2 marks question, right? So we need to solve how, what is y and what is x to get minus 2 and 3. Okay, so if I can say y should be, what number minus 5 gives you minus 2? Okay. 3. Take away 5 is minus 2. Minus 2 over 3. So from 3, if you can subtract 5, you will get minus 2. And to get 3, from 4 minus 1, you have 3. So from here, the x and the y, the coordinates, x coordinate is 4 and the y coordinate, x is 4 and the y is 3. So these are the coordinates for C, which is 4 and 3. Okay. Now for part C, find the area of a triangle formed by the perpendicular bisector of AB and the x and y axis. Okay, the triangle that is perpendicular bisector of AB, the x axis and the y axis, we need to find out its area. Okay, so first we need to find out the equation of perpendicular bisector of AB. So for equation of perpendicular bisector of AB, equation of perpendicular bisector of AB, the first thing we need is the midpoint of AB. Midpoint of AB is adding the x components and dividing by 2, plus add up the y components and dividing by 2. So the A, we can rewrite, is 3, 7, and the B coordinates are 6 and P. 6 and P value is 5. Okay. Let me work on the midpoint, add up the x components, which is 3 and 6. So 3 plus 6 divided by 2. Add up the y component, 7 plus 5 divided by 2. Let me find out the midpoint. Okay, 3 plus 6 divided by 2, which is 4.5. And 7 plus 5 divided by 2, that is 6. So that is a midpoint of AB. And the second thing we need is the slope of perpendicular bisector of AB. Okay, as we know that the slope of AB is given, the slope of AB or the gradient of AB is given, which is minus 2 by 3. And the slope of perpendicular bisector, the line AB, its slope is given to us. And the slope of line which is perpendicular to AB is negative reciprocal of this. So negative and the reciprocal of minus 2 by 3 is 3 over minus 2. So this becomes 3 by 2. Okay. Now the equation is y minus y naught equals to m into x minus x naught. This is x naught, this is y naught, and this is m. So y minus y naught, the m is 3 by 2, and we have x minus x naught is 4 by 5. Okay. Now this is equation of perpendicular bisector of AB. All right. Now for x-axis and y-axis, right? For x-axis, y is equals to 0. So when y component is 0, solving for x component, minus 6 equals to 3 by 2 into x minus 4.5. So here we have, this is multiplying with some x. So minus 6 multiply 2 by 3. This is x minus 4.5. And 3 times 1 is 3, 3 times 2 is 6. So it's minus 4 plus 4.5. You will get x. So from 4.5 take away 4, that is 0.5. So the x coordinate is 0.5. So the x intercept is 0.5 and 0, right? The second thing is for y axis, x component is equals to 0. So in equation of perpendicular bisector, just substitute x equals to 0. Here is x, put it equals to 0. So y minus 6 equals to 3 by 2 into 0 minus 4.5. So what is y? 3 by 2 into minus 4.5, and then shift the 6 on the other side, plus 6. 3 by 2 multiply by minus 4.5 and add up with 6, which is minus 0.75. So now for the components, the x and the y coordinates, the x is 0, the y is minus 0.75. Okay, we have the equation of perpendicular bisector of AB, the x-intercept and the y-intercept. Now we need to find the area of a triangle which is formed by the perpendicular bisector of AB and the x and y axis. Let us visualize this situation. Okay, so on the grid, let me draw the grid first. For x, this is for y-axis, yes. Okay, 1 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 and 15. So what is a mid of 15? 7.5. Midpoint of 15 is 15 divided by 2, 7.5. Yeah, here is 7.5. You guys can see I draw this till 15. Now from 7.5 we can draw a straight line. Okay, again this is 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 and 15. Okay, so first label the point 3 and 7. Point A, 3 and 7. 1 2 3 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. X is 3 and the y is 7. Okay, so here is point A. This is A. Okay, now label the point B, which is 6 and 5. X is 6 and the y is 5. 3 4 5 and 6, and here we have 5. and we have a 5. Here is a point B. Let me raise the two lines. All right, so these are the points A and B. Okay, now we need to find out the perpendicular bisector of AB. Okay, so for the perpendicular bisector of AB, keep it in mind that we have the midpoint of AB. What is the midpoint? 4.5 and 6. X is 4.5 and the Y value 6. Okay, so X is 4 over here and 4.5, and the Y value is 6 over here. Okay, figure out the midpoint. So this is 4.5 and here we have 6. This is the point 6, sorry. So this is a midpoint of AB. I just draw this to make you guys understand which area of triangle we need to figure out. So we have the midpoint. So this is a line AB, and from the midpoint we need to find the perpendicular bisector of AB. So that is the line which is perpendicular bisector of AB. So that perpendicular bisector of AB is this line. Y minus 6 equals to 3 by 2 into x minus 4.5. So that perpendicular bisector of AB intersect the x-axis at the point where it intersects 0.5 and 0. So this coordinate is 0.5, and it intersects the y-axis at negative 0.75. Just assume it is a rough sketch. This is minus 0.75 for the y-axis. Right now we need to figure out area of this triangle, area of a triangle which is formed by the perpendicular bisector of AB, the x-axis and the y-axis, which is half, the base and the height. Right, so the base is from 0 to 0.5, the distance is 0.5. From 0 to minus 0.75, the distance is 0.75. Right, just find out its area. So area of triangle is half base times height. It is a right angle triangle. If I can shade this triangle, we need to find out the area. Okay, so the half, the base is 0.5 and the height is 0.75. Okay, so 1 by 2 times 0.5 times 0.75, that is 0.1875. 0.1875. This is the area of the triangle which is formed by the perpendicular bisector of AB, the x-axis and the y-axis. Question number 8. The equation of curve is given to us. The curve has a stationary point 1 and 9. So the stationary point is a point where the first derivative is equals to 0. Part A, find the values of a constants A and B. Okay, so we have given y, find out dy over dx. So x cube derivative is 3x square plus a, x square derivative is 2x plus b, x derivative is 1 and 5 derivative is 0. Right, now for stationary point we need to put first derivative equals to 0. Dy over dx, this is equals to 0. Okay, so when dy by dx is equals to 0, it means 3x square plus 2ax plus b, this is equals to 0. Right, we have given a stationary point, so this derivative is equals to 0 at 1 and 9, when x is 1 and the y is 9. Now we have the equation 3, x value is 1 square plus 2a, x is 1 plus b equals to 0. So 3 plus 2a plus b equals to 0. That is my first equation. But we have to solve for a and b. We need two equations, two unknowns, two equations. Okay, as we know, this is a stationary point of the curve. Stationary point is basically the turning point of the curve. And we know that turning point must lies on the curve, so it must satisfy the curve, right? So we can say stationary point lies on the curve. This means 1 and 9. So in this curve, y equals to x cube plus ax square plus bx plus 5. Just substitute x is 1 and the y value is 9. So we have 9 equals to 1 cube is 1a plus b plus 5. So 9 equals to 6 plus a plus b. From 9 take away 6 is a plus b. So 3 equals to a plus b. That is my second equation. Okay. Now we have two equations and two unknowns. So a plus b equals to 3. This equation, 2a plus b equals to negative 3. You can see 2a plus b, shift the 3 on the other side, becomes negative 3. So if I can subtract the two equations, for subtraction, changing the signs, positive to negative, positive to negative, negative to positive. Plus b and minus b is cancelled out. A and minus 2a is minus a. This is equals to 3 and plus 3 would be 6. So here the a value is negative 6. We got the a, which is minus 6. When a is minus 6, solving for b. So a plus b, this is equals to 3. So b value is 3 minus a. So b value is 3 minus 6. So b is 3 plus 6. B value is 9. Alright. Now we have done with a, which is minus 6, and the b value is 9. Now the equation is y equals to x cube plus a x square plus b x plus 5. That is the equation of curve. For part B, find the coordinates of other stationary point. Okay, so we have given the curve y equals to x cube minus 6x square plus 9x plus 5. So for stationary point, we have dy over dx, which is 3x square minus 6 2 times 3 2 times 6 is 12x plus 9. Put it equals to 0. Okay, this implies 3x square minus 12x plus 9 equals to 0. 3 is common, we can take x square minus 4x plus 3 equals to 0. 3 times 1 is 3, 3 times 4 is 12, 3 times 3 is 9. Divide on the other side, 0 over 3 is just 0. So x square minus 4x plus 3, this is equals to 0. Factorize this. So in factorization, we know that 1 times 3 is 3. Okay, minus 1 minus 3 becomes minus 4, right? So we have x square minus x minus 3x plus 3 equals to 0. Let me take x common. X minus 1 is left, negative 3 is common, x minus 1 is left equals to 0. So x minus 1 is a factor and x minus 3 is a factor equals to 0. So from here we have two x values, x is 1 and x is equals to 3. Right. So we have already done with x is equals to 1. So when x is 1, the y value is 9. This x stationary point is already given to us. We need to work on the other stationary point, right? So when x is equals to 3, we have to solve for y. So the equation of curve y is equals to, that is the equation of curve. I'm substituting x equals to 3 over here, right? X cube, so 3 cube minus 6x square plus 9 into x plus 5. Okay, simplify. We have 3 to the power 3 minus 6 into 3 plus 9 times 3 plus 5. Y coordinate is just 5. Y is equals to 5. So the coordinates of other stationary point is x is 3 and the y is 5. That is a coordinate of the other stationary point, which is 3 and 5. 1 9 is already given, 3 5 is the other one. Moving to part C, a point P is moving along part of the curve in such a way that the y coordinate of P is increasing at a constant rate of 6 units per second. Y coordinate dy over dt, this is equals to 6, positive 6, because it is increasing, right? And when you are dealing with the constant rate, it means the derivative of y with respect to time per second. So time is positive 6. Find the rate at which the x coordinate of p increasing when x is equals to 5. We need to solve dx over dt at x is equals to 5. Okay. Okay, now dy over dx is equals to dy over dt multiply dt over dx. The chain rule. This is a chain rule. So at x is equals to 5, right? We need to find out what is dy by dx at x is equals to 5 first. Okay. Now dy over dx at x is equals to 5. This is dy by dx, right? 3x square minus 12x plus 9. Just put x is equals to 5. 3 into x square minus 12 into x plus 9. Okay. Simplify. 3 into 5 squared is 25 minus 12 times 5 plus 9, which is 24. Okay, that is 24. Okay, now put it back. When you're substituting it back, dy by dx at x is equals to 5. This is 24, and that is dy over dt is given, which is positive 6, multiply dt over dx. Okay, so this is 24 over 6. 24 divided by 6 is just 4. So 4 is basically dt over dx. But we need to solve for dx over dt. This is 4 by 1. So dx over dt, the reciprocal of this side equals to the reciprocal of the other side, which is 1 by 4. So the rate at which the x coordinate of p is increasing is 1 by 5 when x is 5. 1 by 4, sorry. Question number 9. Function f and g are defined as follow. We have f of x, which is cos x from 0 to pi, and g of x from pi to 2 pi. Part A. Describe fully the transformations that have been combined to transform the graph of f of x to the graph of g of x. Okay. So cos x is transformed to 3 cos x. The first transformation is a stretch in y direction by a factor of 3, the vertical stretch by a factor of 3, right? So we have f of x is equals to cos x. Now f of x is equals to 3 cos x. And when you have a stretch in y direction by a factor of 3, this is a first transformation. Now the second transformation, you guys can see we have a plus 2 and we have some pi over here. So we have a translation. Translation is, the horizontal translation is pi and the vertical translation is 2. So f of x becomes 3 is outside cos. So keep in mind the horizontal translation is always with the x value, x minus that horizontal translation. This minus is the part of the formula, right? And the vertical translation is throughout with the function plus 2. So we have a stretch in y direction by a factor of 3, the horizontal translation pi units, and the vertical translation 2 units. So these are the two series of transformation which are applying on the function f of x to get the function g of x. Now for this B part, on the axis, sketch the graph of f of x and g of x. All right, just sketch. Okay, so f of x is basically from 0 to pi. Okay, so let me work on f of x. F of x is just cos x, right? Cos 0 is 0 in radians, right? Cos 0 is 1. What is cos pi? Is minus 1, okay? And what is cos of pi by 2? 0. Cos pi by 2 is 0. Cos 0 is 1. Cos pi is minus 1, and it is in the middle, okay? What values are in the middle? You can see here we have pi by 2 and here we have 3 pi by 2. This is pi by 2. This is 3 pi by 2. 0 pi by 2, 2 pi by 2, 3 pi by 2, 4 pi by 2, right? Okay, at pi by 2 it is just 0, and at 0 it is 1 and minus 1. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. -1, -2, -3, and -4. Right. So it's negative is 1 and -1. So at z, it is 1. Cos of x is 0 at 1. Cos x is cos of 0 is 1. Cos of pi by 2 is 0. And cos of pi is -1. So this would be the sketch of the graph. Right. This is for cos of x. This is f of x. Let me plot for g of x. Now for f of x, it is from 0 to pi. And look at the g of x. G of x is from pi to 2 pi. Okay. Starting from pi till 2 pi. Okay. So when you substitute pi over here, let me write down this equation. 3 cos pi minus pi plus 2. It's 5. Okay. So at pi, the value is 5. So here we 1, 2, 3, 4, and we have somewhere over at the top, it's 5. Let's say 5 is over here. Right. And for what is 3 pi by 2? Okay, 3 pi by 2. It's 2. Okay. So this value is 2. It's 3 pi by 2. It is just 2. Here we have 1 and we have 2. This is 2. Right. Okay. And what is at 2 pi? 2 pi is -1. So it's the same. -1. It's -1. Okay. Let me sketch this. It's the maximum is 5 and it's 2. We have some 0 over here, and then this is how the sketch look like for g of x. Yeah, this is for g of x. Okay. Now for part C, find g inverse f of pi by 3. Okay, so what is f of x? F of x is cos x. And now what is f of pi by 3? That is cos pi by 3. So cos cos of pi by 3 is 1 by 2. Okay. So f of pi by 3 is 1 by 2. G inverse of 1 by 2 we need to figure out. Okay. So for G inverse of 1 by 2, first we need to solve for G inverse of x, right? Let's solve for G inverse of x. Okay, so for G inverse of x, what first thing is we need to put the function y equals to g of x. This is a function g of x, right? Put it equals to pi. So y equals to the g of x is 3 cos of x minus pi and plus 2. The next step is to switch the variables. Y switching to x, 3 cos x switch with y minus pi and plus 2. The next step is to solve for y. Okay, let me solve for y over here. So if x minus 2, shift the 2 on the other side, this becomes 3 cos y minus pi. Now dividing both sides by 3, x minus 2 over 3, this is cos of y minus pi. So do cos inverse. Cos inverse of x minus 2 over 3. This is y minus pi. And what is y? So cos inverse of x minus 2 over 3 plus pi. This is your y, and that is your g inverse of x. Now we need to solve what is g inverse of 1 by 2. Okay. So G inverse f of pi by 3 is G inverse of 1 by 2. Let me solve for G inverse of 1 by 2, which is cos inverse of 1 by 2 minus 2 divided by 3 and plus pi. Okay. 1 by 2 minus 2 divided by 3, cos inverse of answer, and plus pi, 5 pi by 3. So this answer is 5 pi over 3, or in exact form, which is 5.236, up to 4 significant figures. Now for part D, explain why the composite function gf cannot be formed. Composition of two function is positive when the range of inner function must lies within the domain of the outer function. So what is the range? Range of g of x is, so range is basically dealing with the y values, right? So as you can see, for the y value, the range is from, this is 5, 1 2 3 4 5 till minus 1. The range is from minus 1 is less than equals to y is less than equals to 5. This is a range of g of x. And what is a domain of f of x? Domain of f of x is, x is from 0 to pi. 0 is less than equals to x is less than equals to pi, or pi we can also say 3.14. Take pi. 3.14. Yes. Okay. So the composition of two function is possible when the inner function range minus 1 to 5 must lies within the domain of outer function from 0 to 3. So the domain is just 0 to 3, but that is from minus 1 to 5, so it does not lies within, right? We can say f of g cannot be formed because range of g of x does not lies within the domain of f of x, right? So the range of g of x is from minus 1 till 5. This does not lies within the domain of f of x, because f of x is just from 0 to 3, but minus 1 till 5, it does not include minus 1, it does not include number 4, number 5. So that is why the composition is not possible. Composition is only possible when the inner function range must lies within the domain of the outer one. Question number 10, the equation of circle is, part A, find the equation of tangent to the circle at the point 2, 8. Give your answer in the form of ax plus by plus c. Okay, equation of tangent to the circle. Let me find out the center of a circle. So x square plus 4x plus y square minus 8y and negative 12 equals to 0. Complete the square. X square plus 2 into x into 2. 2 times 2 is 4x. 2 a and b. So b should be equals to 2 square. Now minus 2 square as well. And plus we have y square minus 2 into y into 4. 2 times 4 gives you 8, plus 4 square and minus 4 square, and minus 12 equals to 0. So combine this. This is x plus 2 whole square and other y minus 4 whole square. And here we have minus 12 minus 4 square. 4 times 4 is 16. 2 times 2 is 4 equals to 0. So x plus 2 whole square plus y minus 4 whole square. And what is minus 12 minus 16 minus 4? 32. Shift on the other side, it becomes positive of 32. So now the equation of circle is, we have equation of circle x minus minus 2 whole square plus y minus 4 whole square equals to the radius square. So the center of this circle is, center is minus 2 and 4, and the radius is root of 32. Okay. Now let me draw this circle. To make it more understandable, let me draw this circle. Right. So I drew the circle and we found the center of the circle is -2 and 4. Okay. So we need to find the equation of tangent to the circle at point 2 and 8. Let's say this is a point 2, 8. 2 and 8. So the point lies on the circle and we have to find the equation of tangent. As we know that tangent touch the circle at one point. So this is equation of tangent we need to figure out. Okay. So we know that tangent is always perpendicular to the radius of a circle. This is the radius of a circle. Tangent is perpendicular to the radius of a circle. We know that tangent is perpendicular to the radius of a circle. Since tangent is perpendicular to the radius of a circle, it means the gradient of radius is negative reciprocal of gradient of tangent. So what is a gradient of radius? Gradient of radius, which is this point and this point, the gradient of this from center to this point, that is a gradient of radius. Y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Y2 minus y1 is 8 minus 4, x2 is 2 minus minus 2. 8 take away 4 is 4 and 2 plus 2 is also 4. 4 over 4, that is equals to 1. Right, this is a gradient of radius. Now what is a gradient of tangent? Gradient of tangent is negative reciprocal of gradient of minus 1 over 1. So that is minus 1. 1 reciprocal is also 1, so it's negative 1, right? So now we have the gradient and we have the point. Just write down the equation of tangent. So the equation of tangent becomes equation of tangent y minus y naught equals to m into x minus x naught, which is y minus y naught is the point 8, m is the gradient minus 1, x minus x naught is a point 2. So y minus 8 equals to minus x and plus 2, right? So we can say y minus 8 plus x minus 2 equals to 0. So x plus y and minus 10 equals to 0. So this is in the form of ax plus by plus c equals to 0. So a value is 1, b value is 1, c value is negative 10. So now the equation of tangent to the circle at the point 2, 8 is in the form. Now for part B, given that the line does not intersect the circle, show that when line does not meet the circle, this implies the discriminant, which is b square minus 4ac, this should be less than 0. It's negative. Okay. Now let me simplify. Equation of circle. The line we can say is x is equals to k minus 3y. This is the line. Okay. X is k minus 3y. Just substitute the x value over here. X square and x over here. Right. X square is k minus 3y, its whole square, right, plus y square plus 4 into xk minus 3y and minus 8y minus 12. This is 0, right? So when the line does not intersect the circle, it means they have no point of intersection. When they have no point of intersection, their discriminant is negative, right? So we have to put the line into the equation of circle and put the discriminant negative. Open the square, k square minus 2 times 3, 6 ky my plus 9y square plus y square plus 4k. 4 times 3 is 12y minus 8y minus 12 equals to 0. Now the y square terms are 9 and 1, so it is just 10, right? So it's 10y square. These two are the y terms, the k terms, and these are the y terms. Minus 12 and minus 8 is minus 20y. Okay. And we have the k terms, plus k square minus 6ky plus 4k and minus 12 equals to 0. Okay. Let me arrange this. Okay. So y square, y, and the constant term, right? So 10 is a coefficient of y square. The y coefficients are minus 20 and minus 6k. These are the y coefficients, and the constant terms are k square plus 4k and minus 12. These are the constant term, right? Okay. Now we can put the discriminant b square minus 4ac. This is less than 0. So a value is 10. This is your a. This value is my b, and the constant term is my c. Okay. So b square 20 plus 6k whole square, because minus 1 square is positive 1, minus 4a, and the c is k square minus plus 4k minus 12. This is less than 0. Okay. 20 times 20 is 400. 20 square, this is 400, and 2 into 20 into 6k, 240k. 6 times 6 is 36k square. 4 times 10 is 40, so minus 40 is multiplying with minus 40k square. Minus 40 is multiplying with 4, so minus 160k, and minus 40 is multiplying with minus 12, which is 480. This should be less than 0. This is k square term, so 36 and minus 40 is minus 4k square. Okay. And the k terms are 240 and minus 160. 240 minus 160 is 80 plus 80k. These are k square term, these are k term, and the constant term is 480 plus 400 is 880. This is less than 0. Okay, divided by negative 4. Throughout the equation is dividing by minus 4. So when it is dividing by negative number or multiplying by negative number, so we have to reverse the inequality. Okay, this is k square. 80 over minus 4 is minus 20k, and 880 divide minus 4 is minus 220, and this is greater than 0. We have to reverse the inequality. So we just have to show that k square minus 20k minus 220 is greater than 0, so it is showed. All right. So that was the last question of our paper. If you have any queries, please let me know in our comment section, and please subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Take care.